Hi, guys. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to this episode of Angels Don't Lie. I'm really happy to have you here. My name is Jeannie Street. I am a spiritual medium, healer, and author. And so I shared last week this really beautiful episode of a personal thing that we have experienced in our home. My husband had a near death experience right before Easter, the week before Easter. During his experience, his heart did stop, uh, and he just had this beautiful experience, and you can watch that in the previous video. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about near death experiences and spiritual awakenings and how they do go together. Again, my husband and I have had these really amazing conversations lately because of the experience that he has gone through, the experience I also have gone through. And what we have found is, and thank you, first off, all of your comments. I have really loved receiving all of them. I want to tell you, like, I'm reading all of them and finding out like what you experienced, and that you don't have to die in order to have a near death experience or a spiritual awakening. That's the cue, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. So yesterday, while we were having our conversation, he was telling me, like, all of a sudden it came to him, like, I have been hearing God talk to me for so long. I just didn't realize that's really what it was. And a few years back, he had decided, I think it was like, how many years ago? It was probably like almost 8 years ago. He got a tattoo on his back. He had a tattoo of Jesus put on his back. And it's not a little tattoo, it's actually his entire back. And it's Jesus with the lamb and the lion. He's got two archangels on either shoulder. And when he did this, when he started to go down this journey of having this tattoo on his back, I think that's really when his spiritual awakening began. I think that's when it started coming in, and he started paying attention to his ability to hear spirit, to hear God, to hear his angels. And I know many of you have these holy experiences as well. Some people, they don't necessarily feel that it's a holy experience. They get kind of stumbled up on feeling predictions or seeing things, or getting worried about it and they don't want it to happen, or they're religious and they think this isn't going to go well. This is not allowed. We're not allowed to have these experiences. But I'm going to tell you something. As a medium, I grew up Catholic. I'm like to say I'm a Catholic girl in an angel world. So again, I was brought up with structure and belief. But what I know to be true, what I absolutely know to be true, is when we are aligned with God and we are doing the work that we're called to do, we're all good. We're good. Like, if you're aligned with God and you have the gift of mediumship, it was gifted to you for a reason. So I always, say to my students that are in my programs, you're going to take this development and you're going to go forward, but I'm going to teach you this method, a God-based method, to use your gifts so that way you're in alignment. My work is in alignment, and I'm going to showcase you how you can do it safely, right? And as my husband was listening to his guidance, his angels, his team on the other side, that led him to make a decision to put this beautiful tattoo on his back. And that was part of our conversation yesterday. And he's like, I'm just remembering more of the experience. And it's not just from then, it's from all of these other moments in my life. And that just brought it all to the surface. And with other people that I've communicated with who have had experiences of being on the other side, this is what they're saying too. It's like a slow process of it coming into big fruition. Like, it takes time to work through the amount of love and compassion and peace that they feel, while letting go of maybe old ways or old habits. They now know that they have to stand with purpose and passion and share something with the world. So today was another one of those, conversations my husband had with another man, another gentleman he knew on business call. This gentleman also had an experience where he did cross over, and he had an experience with his loved ones. And God told him, You can stay or you can go. And he said, I want to go back. My work's not done. And he came back and immediately he started doing charitable work. Immediately he started to step into a new role of serving, of serving and supporting. So I wanted to share like my own journey of spiritual, I want to say like, I guess that's awakening, but I've always had this gift, but I lived in fear, so I didn't use it. So my journey was to come back into me, was almost like stepping out of the old way and into this new way, this new life that I created in my mind. And I basically I say like it's an identity. We choose this identity. And the identity is based off of who we really are, right? Inside. And when we lean into the love portion of who we really are and we start expressing it, we can clean up our act, we can clean up our vibrational rate so we can be in the level of love in our soul's frequency, right? So as I was doing this throughout the years, people would say, and even my husband, he would say to me, like, you're totally different. You're not the same person as you were when we were in high school, because we're high school sweethearts. And I'd be like, no, I am the same, but I am vastly different where I'm choosing to be me. I'm choosing to let go of the things that I was hiding behind. And now he's really understanding that because he too is experiencing that for himself. So leave me a message below if you have had a spiritual awakening where you decided to change something in your life, to lean into who you really are. And I'd love to know what it looked like for you. I'd love to know, did you do this in alignment with God, with your angels? Did you just feel moved to do it? Did you get a voice inside that led you there? For me, my angels were talking to me. They were nudging me. They were guiding me. And at first I totally ignored them. Like I didn't want to admit that was happening because, if you're listening to voices, what does our world tell us? Then you got to be crazy, right? Voices in your head means you're gonna, you know, be crazy. But when I started to lean into those voices and I started to listen and I started to do the shifts in my life that felt really good, well, a lot more love came to my life. More love came into my life. And so that was the reward for me. It was like, oh, this feels really good. And there's a positive energy to it, right? There's something positive that's coming from getting up every morning and meditating. There's something positive coming when I choose to eat on a vibration that serves my body. There's something positive that's coming to me when I lean in and I listen to someone else and their story. There's something positive that comes to me when I make my prayer part of my everyday throughout my day. So, what's the positive that you can look at in your life to say, when I do this action, when I choose this behavior, this is the amount of love that comes to me? So, a couple of years ago, I decided to start expressing myself with painting, and that's where here in my art room. And I'm not like a good drawer. This isn't something that I'm not a fine artist. I'm a messy artist, and I'm okay with it because it has energy to me. It's an expression to me. It's when I do it, more love comes to me. When I do it, I can share a part of me that doesn't make sense always and put it on a canvas and get my hands dirty and get paint everywhere, and it just feels good inside. It feels good. So this isn't for anyone else, this is for me, and that feels good. So does that make sense? Like, what can you do, what can you lean into to have more love come into your life? How can you be in the vibration of love, peace, joy? You don't have to have a near death experience. Your heart doesn't have to stop for you to have a spiritual awakening. All a spiritual awakening is you leaning into love, is being in the vibration in which you're choosing to live. So if you can look at it, like I call this like the emotional staircase. It's one of my favorite things to teach, which is we go through a series. We go through about, 8 to 10 emotions a day. We literally go up and down this staircase all day long. We want to be at the number 10. We want to be at this landing where it's like, this is the best feeling we've ever had. I want to be joy. Like, oh, I'm going to be joy up here. And when we're in joy, we feel like we're a magnet. We just feel good. Everything's coming to us. So we might start our day like, oh, today's going to be a great day. But then the phone rings or the kids cry or something happens or your husband, heart stops like mine did. And so what happens is we come down the staircase and we come to an emotion of anxiety, of whatever it is for you. So I basically teach you're going to list out 10 emotions that you go through, and it's going to take you about a week to come up with your list of 10. Those are your most common emotions. So from the lowest of low emotion to the highest of high, you're going to notice that you pretty much don't get beyond like a 6 any day of the week. You stay underneath that because we're so used to being reactive and we're so used to our habits of playing small, of being insecure, of blaming, of victimhood, of whatever it is for you. We're all different. That those emotions are what keep us from shining. They keep us from having that spiritual awakening. Guess what? That's how Shmigo, which is who I call fear and ego that lives in our head, his job is to keep us playing low. If we are playing low, if we're in that lower vibrational rate, then we aren't going to do good in the world. Then we can't show up. We can't be the light. We can't shine. We can't serve. We can't, move forward. And so what is meant for us can't come to us because again, these are vibrations. If you look at this staircase, these are 10 emotions you go through each day. Each one has a vibrational rate, has a frequency to it. So for instance, joy, immediately just saying the word joy, like try it right now, joy, your face changes, your smile comes on, your body language shifts. So that has a higher frequency. Whereas if you're going to say insecure, I feel very insecure. Notice in your body that frequency feels lower. Say the word insecure. Put your hand on your body. I feel insecure. What happens is your whole energy comes down and that has a frequency. So if you're doing these words like I feel grief, I guilty, that's a good one. So many people I work with, I feel guilty. Guilt, guilt, guilt. You can't speak, you can't get out of it, you can't move. Guilt is heavy and burdensome, right? We assign energy to this guilt. We tell stories about, oh, I can't do that, it'll hurt this person. So guilt then rules us, and that's the vibration in which we're putting out, and that's the energy we're receiving. So if you are constantly wondering, like, why does this keep happening? Well, let's check in on which emotional staircase you're living on. What vibration are you in? People that have a spiritual awakening or an NDE, and I probably said NED before because it's literally dyslexic girl over here, but people that have spiritual awakenings or NDEs, they have that sense of peace. They get to those upper staircase. You want to be in an 8, 9, or 10. You literally want to, that's your goal for the day. And throughout your day, the things that are going to get you there are the remembrance of love. And that's what you're going to carry with you. So if you listen to anyone who's had this beautiful, beautiful, scary experience of leaving their body or rising, that awakening, we consider it a rising, but it's really just an opening, right? Your body's opened to love. They're going to say things like, I feel peaceful, I feel joy, I feel so much compassion. You're going to notice behaviors changing. You're going to notice shifts in energy. You're going to notice quietness for a while as they try to process this new vibrational rate in which they are now living. That's all this is, right? So if you want to change your frequency, if you want to change the level in which you're living, you don't have to go through a traumatic experience. Or if you have and you want to get back to it, then I just recommend you doing a daily meditation of leaning into love, of getting that word that feels so yummy and comfortable to you, like joy, peace, love, compassion, and having that be your focus. So we can talk about mantra, right? There is a science behind repeating words or repeating energy over and over, like prayer is repetitive, that it becomes part then of a new behavior. And that's what this is, a new behavior, right? It's a new leaning into love. That's just so beautiful, right? Leaning into love. And that's what compassion is. That's what joy is we lean into love. And it's not outside of you. Here's the bigger cue in, right? This energy, this awakening, or even having an experience where you cross over, it is within you because you are your soul. And the soul is an infinite being of love. Your soul is here and it's with the divine. And that veil in which we call heaven is literally right here. It's here. So when I'm connecting to a departed loved one, they come here. I don't go there. They come here. It's literally here. It's effortless. So when we are working with our energy to up level it, you don't have to change too much. It's inward. It's paying attention to our vibrational rate, paying attention to what serves your body. And here's another thing that I think is so beautiful that the angels taught me is that your body, it absolutely knows truth. Your being, your physical being knows if something's going to serve you. The mind, however, the cravings, the you know, that crazy monkey mind is going to keep you in old habits or playing small, but your body will know truth. So if you put your hand on your heart and on your belly and you ask, should I have candy or should I have a piece of fruit? Your body's going to say, I love some nutrients here. So let's do some good here. Pay attention. Your body's going to tell you, should I pray and meditate or should I go to a movie? And not that a movie is bad or candy is not bad, but if it's going to serve you, if you're looking to serve you, then check in with your body and listen to what it has to say. It's always going to lead you to your next right move. Your head, however, will lead you to more habits, more false beliefs, and to things that kind of trip you up. That's why we meditate. That's why we drop inward to have that experience. We drop inward where the Holy Spirit and us combined, the heart center, this is where the seat of the soul is. This is where you and the divine live, right? That spark of energy that is creation. That's it right there. Short and sweet and to the point, but I just wanted to come in and share these words and this more of this connection of what happened in our home with my husband to keep it alive. And that's what he keeps saying, like, we have to keep it alive. I have to keep talking about it. And I'm hoping to sit down with him this weekend and actually do like an interview with him. That's our goal. We did talk about it so that you can meet him and he can share from his point of view and his perspective of what happened. And, this is just my side, right? This is just my side. We've been together for 36 years. We've been through a lot of, zoom, 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 up and downs and easy and whatever. But this is special. This has been so special for both of us and for us as a couple. I have to say, we feel blessed. We feel blessed. As scary, as unfortunate as all of the mess happened, I still feel God has such a great plan, and it doesn't all make sense to us yet. It doesn't make sense to me, but I do know this awakening was all that was needed. It was all that was needed for our love to grow deeper, for his faith to grow even more, for what's coming next for us, for both of us, right? So inside of all of the yuck and the things that we have going on in our everyday, God provides grace. And I hope that you lean in and find your grace today, and that you know that you're meant to be here and that you're important and that you are loved and supported. God bless you. Have a most beautiful, beautiful day.
The truth when she smiles at